Well, first up, even as the Union Finance Minister Nirmala Sitharaman is going to present the Union Budget 2023-24 shortly, as far as the industry and the people from all walks of life hold great expectations from the Modi government. Now, this year's budget presentation holds significance, even as Prime Minister Narendra Modi's government's last full budget before the next parliamentary elections in 2024, slated for April-May next year. Now, like the previous two Union budget this year, 2023, will also be delivered in a paperless form. Let's get you the updates as we are focusing on what exactly is headed and what the economic survey also says. Through graphics, we'll help you understand and point out when it comes to the highlighted portions as far as centre's projections this year is concerned. Around 6.5% of the GDP growth that is now being expected, with 11% nominal GDP growth. Around 6.8 is the inflation rate that has now been suggested. When it comes to the growth drivers and the economic survey, what does it have to talk about that issue? When it comes to private consumption, there is a higher capital expenditure, the strengthening of the corporate balance system sheet, and as well the credit growth to small businesses, the return of the migrants from the cities as well. One of the biggest challenges that is being said of overcoming the pandemic is something that India is still touted to be one of the fastest growing economies of the world. Now, major economy as it is being said, let's even put out the tally between India and other countries as well as we track through a world map of the fastest growing economy, with the United States expected with 1.0%, China around 4.5%, Japan at 0.9%. If we talk about Germany around 1.4%, and India, despite the losses, it had 6.8%. Now, this is a projection that has been set forth by the IMF itself. So despite the challenges, India still remains the fastest growing economy. But amid the growing public expectations around the Union budget, there have been top business leaders of the country who have also put forward their suggestions through the Union Finance Minister Nirmala Sitharaman, where a key expectation is also from the healthcare sector from the upcoming budget is the increase in the expenditure on healthcare infrastructure. And the experts have been saying that, keeping COVID pandemic in view, the budget 2021-22 and the last year's 2022-23 focused mainly on the country's healthcare system as well. All right, I'm told that Mohit is also joining us live right now. Mohit, good morning. It's going to be a long day today, but when it comes to all eyes today will be on the Union Finance Minister Nirmala Sitharaman, who will be presenting the budget today. We are told in a short while from now she will be leaving from her residence.
Well, Amita, today is the big day. The last full budget of Modi 2.0 will be presented today, and next year it would be an interim budget would be presented by this government. Now, right now we are reporting from the residence of Finance Minister Nirmala Sitharaman. Now, what we are being told is that the tentative schedule of Nirmala Sitharaman is that she will be moving out of her residence around 9:15. Then she'll be going to North Block. Then a customary photo op will take place. After that, she will be going to the President House to take the approval of the President, and then a cabinet meeting would be held. Now, it's a custom that just before the presentation of a budget, the cabinet meeting takes place and the approval of cabinet is being sought by the finance minister. And after that, around 11, the budget would be presented in Parliament. Now, given the fact that next year the general elections will take place, and also there are 9 states that are going to elections in this particular year, it remains to be seen whether it will be a populist budget or the government will decide to be more prudent. Now, given the fact that how Nirmala Sitharaman few days ago stated that she comes from a middle class family and the government has not levied any extra tax on the middle class from past many years, it seems that the income tax slabs might not change. So whether that happens or not, that will be known to us by 11 a.m. and whether and we know for a fact that from past few years the focus of the government has been on 2 things. One being the capital expenditure, and second is the fiscal deficit. Now, the government wants to maintain the assets, and hence on the capital expenditure we have seen a huge money is being spent, and also the fiscal deficit. The government wants that the fiscal deficit should come down, and that is also the priority of the government. But whether we'll see, given the fact that the elections are scheduled to happen next year, whether we'll have something for the middle class or not, that remains to be seen. and that is the important question, that whether we will see change in the income tax slabs or not. Now, what exactly would be there for the healthcare sector, given the fact that from past 2-3 years, COVID has ruined the economies worldwide? So what exactly would be there for the healthcare sector? That is also very, very important. Hopes are high from this particular budget by the industries also, and we also know that our IMF has projected that India would be the largest growing, fastest growing major economy of the world. So that is something that has come as a relief. Now, the economic survey yesterday predicted that the growth rate of India would be in the next fiscal around 6 to 6.8. So all that factors will be taken into the consideration by the finance minister while making the budget, and around the budget would be presented. Now, we also know for a fact that how the war between Ukraine and Russia has resulted in shifting of the energy prices, and that has also come as a challenge in front
we also heard
of
from the Prime Minister Mohit saying that the upcoming union budget will be an attempt to meet the hopes and the aspirations of the people, and will strive to be a ray of hope for the world as India strives to be the world's fastest growing economy. Mohit, thanks very much for those live updates.